Hello, everybody, and welcome to Noel the Red Devil. How are you guys? Did not think I'd be back so soon, but as you know, the match wrapped up, and I should be sitting here licking me wounds after an absolute disastrous game. There's been some controversy that has happened over Jadon Sancho. So, when Erik Ten Hag was asked about why Jadon Sancho wasn't in the team, he said, Jadon Sancho is out based on performance on training. We didn't select him. You have to reach the level every day at Manchester United. That's why in this game he was not selected. So Erik Ten Hag basically calling the player out and saying that he didn't do enough to be included in the squad today. And then Jadon Sancho has decided that he's going to put out his own statement. And Jadon Sancho has put out a statement which contradicts the manager, and we are in serious trouble as a club now. I said this during the Arsenal game. We are absolutely, from top to bottom, this club is rotten to the core. There's nobody in there has a backbone. The mentality is weak. Jadon Sancho has said this. And again, he's publicly coming out against the manager because he feels like he's a scapegoat. So let me read this, and you guys can decide for yourselves what you believe. But I am going to say a few things on Erik Ten Hag because I think as a fandom, even though I do support them, I think a lot of fans need to wake up to certain things that have happened these last couple of months that have given, and even last year, that have made me open my eyes to this manager, right? He says this, Jadon Sancho, please don't believe everything you read. I will not allow people saying things that is completely untrue. I have conducted myself in training very well this week. I believe there are no other reasons. There are other reasons for this matter that I won't go into. I've been a scapegoat for a long time, which isn't fair. All I want to do is play football with a smile on my face and contribute to the team. I respect all decisions that are made by the coaching staff. I play with fantastic players and grateful to do so, which I know every week is a challenge. I will continue to fight for this badge no matter what. So that's his statement. That's what he's come out. So he has basically come out and said that the manager is a liar. Now, this is the very same manager, without a shadow of a doubt, that wanted Mason Greenwood back in the team, right? Because even though the club are saying Richard Arnold had final say, at the end of the day, the manager would have given his input because he's the leader of the team, right? And if you listen to the comments that he made a few months back when he was asked, he says, I've let the club know my feelings, but the final decision will be down to the club. And they were keeping him and they were going to reintegrate him back. So Erik Ten Hag wanted that to happen, right? He wanted that to happen. Now, tactically today, he got it wrong, and he's been doing it wrong. He's been making a lot of wrong decisions, in my opinion, including with the transfers that we have made this year. Remember, he is the manager. Yes, we do have a small budget, but at the end of the day, he's the one then that tells the scouting staff what players he wants to bring in. And if you look at the players that he's brought in, absolutely awful. Absolutely awful. I don't know why Jadon Sancho's form is completely different to the way it was in Germany. I do believe we shouldn't have bought him anyway, that he wasn't good enough for the Premier League. That could be a little bit of it. But if the manager orders coaching staff that are there that are treating Jadon Sancho unfairly, well, then he has every right to speak up. But this is another mess that we did not need today. A player publicly calling out our manager is not a good look for our club whatsoever. And after the shambles that of today and the shambles of how we conducted ourselves over the Mason Greenwood situation and the shambles that that's happened through whether we're selling or whether the Glazers are staying, right? Everything connected to this club is a fucking shambles, right? And you know what? I'm sick and tired. If he is, look at some players do get scapegoated, and they have been scapegoated in the past. And if Jadon Sancho is not the type of player, we've seen it. He's not the type of player to come out and make statements like that. He's just not the type of player. So something has gone horribly wrong, right? And again, we've got the question. So we look at that team, right, on paper. We all do say as Man United fans that those players should be performing a lot better than what they are. So what has gone wrong that they haven't started the season well either? There's something gone terribly wrong, right, from inside that club. Something terrible has happened. Maybe they were all banking on fucking Greenwood to come back, which was a stupid fucking thing. But the manager needs to be questioned here because he's making a lot of fucking, and he's made a lot of decisions that, listen, for Ronaldo, I thought he was absolutely spot on. Right? But if you're basically telling Harry Maguire that he needs to work for his place, right, then you put him on the bench. Fair enough, you put him on today because we needed him. But he shouldn't even be on the bench. He should be in the reserves. You should be making it clear that he has no place in this club whatsoever. You know, Erik Ten Hag kind of baffles me because he'll be ruthless with some players and he's not ruthless with others. And listen, you know, everybody thinks Anthony had a great game. Fair enough. I didn't see it that way. Yeah, he was good defensively. But we bought him because, you know, we need goals. And you're seeing it when Garnacho came on, the difference he made. Yeah, great. We were great defensively, but in the end we weren't because we conceded 3 goals. But I mean, it's all well and good being defensive. We're Manchester United, you know, we should be attack. I mean, even the way we're playing football under this manager now, the defence gets it, right? Whether it's Martinez, Lindelof, it doesn't matter who it is, right? They'll get the ball, right? And instead of passing it forward or a quick pass, they'll completely slow down the ball, right? A pass goes across to either the defender, and if it can't go across to the other defender, go out to one of the wing backs. If it can't go out to one of the wing backs, then it goes straight back to Onana. Then Onana then reset, right? Play it back out to the defender, right? Back across to the other defender, back to Onana. The tactics as well, right? I'm sorry, but, you know, people questioned it a couple of weeks ago when I was saying, give it time. But the Arsenal game was really show us what our tactics are. We don't have any. I don't know what's happened with Ten Hag and his tactics, but they've just gone completely out the window. And his substitution of Victor Lindelof, in my opinion, was unforgivable. And I don't want to hear the excuse that Victor was on a yellow card, right? Back in the old days, right, you got a yellow player was on a yellow card, and if you got it early, you played the whole fucking game, right? You bring on Johnny fucking Evans, right? Because you've already had to bring on Harry because Martinez goes off injured, and you think the best thing to do is bring off Victor Lindelof, who was pretty solid, and put Johnny fucking Evans on, right? Anthony shouldn't have come out in the second half. Don't care what people say. Anthony Martial shouldn't have come out in the second half, right? Shouldn't have come out in the second half. And while Delo had a pretty decent game, he's still a liability, right? And he was at fault for one of the goals. There's a mistake in these players, right? And this is why it doesn't matter if they do well for 50, 60, 70, 80, 90 fucking minutes, right? They should do well for the whole fucking game, not for a certain amount of time and then have one mistake in them. I'm sick and fucking tired of this. right? He should have brought on the young striker at half fucking time, or he should have started him from the beginning. Playing Anthony Martial, we were playing with 10 men. Right? And then we have a winger who has to come out and make a statement because the manager was saying that he didn't put enough effort in. And now he's coming out and saying that's not true. And there's a different reason. We're a fucking shambles, right? And Richard Keys was right. It's time that Alex Ferguson stood up and be counted here now, right? You fucking knows you've been sitting on that board for fucking long enough now, right? And you kept your mouth shut about the Glazers. It's about fucking time you say something. Right? This is not the time to be sitting on the fence, or we're going to have a repeat of this. And we've already had it for the last 10 fucking. We're going to have a repeat of this over and over this season. Results like that. Because every single one of those players has a mistake in them. And I'm not saying every team is perfect and you don't have mistakes in them. Except when we make mistakes, they're catastrophic. Right? I mean, for that tour, Johnny Evans trying to get back for the ball, like, it would, Jesus Christ almighty, man. What is Erik ten Hag thinking? And listen, you know, a lot of fans have been saying it. And you know what? I'm kind of, you look at us getting rid of David De Gea and we bring in Onana. And Onana will come good, by the way. I'm not worried about him, right? He will come good. But we could have waited another season for him and brought in a decent fucking centre-back instead of wasting that money. And instead of wasting the money on Mason Mount, we could have brought in 2 fucking decent midfielders to fucking pack that midfield. Because again, our midfield was non-fucking existent. Right? And when Bruno has an off day, you might as well fucking forget about it. And Bruno had an off day. It was a fucking shambles. Right? And the decisions that our manager is making and the stuff that went behind the scenes with Mason Greenwood, he's complicit as well. Right? Because he's the manager. And they start fucking trying to reintegrate Greenwood in because we saw all the stuff online where they were reintegrating him into all the social medias and all of that. Right? So the decision was made. He told the board, he said it in an interview, I told the club how I felt. Right? He wanted him back in that team. And then you look at this man, look, he did some great things, but even last season, some of the substitutions, some of the decisions he made, we kind of let slide. Fans were bringing it up, but we kind of let it slide because we were successful under him. But now the second season, you're going to see this a lot. He's making too many mistakes, in my opinion. I'm sorry, but he is. Erik ten Hag is making too many mistakes. Yeah, I know, but fair enough. He's direct with his statements, right? But if he's already told Jadon Sancho that, why go public with it? Why not do what other managers do and just make up some other excuse, right? Say it's an injury or something, right? Save the player from being embarrassed. You know what I mean? But he didn't do that. He didn't do that. So I'm not going to, you know, I get he's direct. And I love that he is direct. Don't get me wrong. I love the fact that he wants to win every game and he's direct about it, right? But the thing about it is that he's doing a lot of talking. But right now, he's not actually, right now this season, he's not proving that. And listen, he got spooked during pre-season. We were playing good football pre-season. So I can't understand why we've gone from what we were playing pre-season. Yet we had a few bad results pre-season. But I watched all the pre-season. We were playing full-flown football, tappity-tap passing, right? It was quick. It was quick. But as soon as we come into the Premier League, it slowed right fucking down. right? And he changed these tactics as well. So we were playing differently pre-season, and the whole fucking point of pre-season is to get your tactics all fucking organised. But he plays different tactics pre-season, and then when we come in the fucking season, then he's playing totally different tactics again. Listen, don't come in with the Ronaldo bullshit, right? Right? Because I'm sick of you Ronaldo fans, right? Erik Ten Hag was right to get rid of Ronaldo, right? You don't go and do an interview, right, and slate the club, slate the manager, right, and slate everything else. And by the way, just to let you fucking know, we all knew before Ronaldo opened his mouth what all of these problems were with their club. We knew how bad it was. So Ronaldo coming out in an interview and telling everybody exactly what we knew doesn't make him a fucking hero. All right? It doesn't. He was wrong to do it, and Erik Ten Hag was right to get rat of him. Right? Just like he was right to get rid of Dean Henderson as well, another little rat bag. Right? Okay? But he'll get rid of those two rat bags, but he was all right with bringing Mason Greenwood back in, who is a rat bag. Right? So he makes no sense as a manager, right? He has morals here, right? But then his morals go out the window when it concerns other players. And he's doing the exact same thing that every other manager does in their second season as well, right? And he's making the exact same mistakes, right? He keeps playing his favourites, right? He won't drop. Anthony needs to be dropped and needed to be dropped ages ago. But he won't drop him. Right? You won't give Palestri a go, right? We've been screaming for that lad to be playing, right? He's doing better than Anthony when he comes on, but he still won't start him. He'll start with Anthony, right? Absolute joke. We keep saying that Rashford can't play down through the middle. Now we've got a striker. Now he's playing Rashford out on the left, but you see what Rashford can do. Yes, Rashford, in fairness, he's a bit selfish and needed to pass the ball a little bit more when he got into the positions that he got into. Listen, you could say whatever you want. You go and watch Cristiano Ronaldo in Saudi Arabia in a Farmers League. You go ahead, right? He's finished, by the way. And the reason why he's still scoring goals is because he'll have about 15 fucking chances and he'll get one in eventually, right? I've watched Ronaldo and I've been watching Messi. Messi is doing a better job than fucking Ronaldo. And Messi is actually playing in a harder league, by the way, than the Saudi Arabian League. I rate the LMS over the Saudi Arabian League. And Messi is turning up over there, right? Ronaldo looks like he's doing great because he was right to pick the Saudi Arabia League because that's his level now. So don't be coming in here, right? Go and kiss his balls somewhere else. Yeah, you're not welcome here, right? The fans that just support players rather than support clubs, I've no time for, right? And if you want to keep, as I said, blowing smoke up Ronaldo's ass, you go ahead and blow smoke up Ronaldo's ass. Right? But for the rest of us, he's a little traitor, right? And I don't care how much of a club legend he is. He should have kept his mouth fucking shut and go on with it. But he didn't. And I'm glad he's fucking gone. And he's where he deserves to be, in a Farmers fucking league. Seriously, man. Absolutely embarrassing he is. He's got such a fucking big ego. He still thinks he's a world-class player. He's a has-been. He's fucking done. And he doesn't realise he's fucking done. You picked the wrong person to pick on when it comes to Cristiano Ronaldo. I watched him when he first came to this club and I saw what he done. He's a legend. And he is a legend. But I'm not going to blow smoke up his ass and let him get away with fucking criticising this fucking club. No fucking way. Right? Other players have done it that were big, that weren't as big as Ronaldo, but we criticised them as well. I don't give a fuck how powerful he thinks he is or how big he fucking thinks he is. The bottom line is he gets called out like every other gobshite that's ever done this club wrong. And as I said, I've watched him in the Saudi League. He needs about 15, 20 fucking chances per game before he knocks one in. And then he might get a game where he gets lucky and he'll get a hat-trick. But be under no illusion, right? If Ronaldo was still in the Premier League, he wouldn't be scoring goals in the Premier League. He's finished. He's only doing well over there because you look at the defences over there. You look at the style of football they play. No wonder he's getting somewhere over there. If Messi went over there, he'd completely clean up. Right? It wouldn't be about Ronaldo. It'd be about Messi, Messi, Messi. And I'm not even a Messi fan. Right? But it'd be all about Messi because Messi would absolutely make a show of that league over there. Right? Ronaldo struggles in it. Ronaldo is finished. Get over yourselves. Sancho is done. Well, I didn't think we should have bought Sancho in the first place, mate. So, you know. But for him, seriously though, for him to come out and criticise the manager, Jadon Sancho is not that type of player. So something has seriously gone wrong. Something seriously gone wrong. Listen, there's still little cliques in that dressing room, right? There's certain players that refuse to leave, right? They're waiting on a big payday. You've got them. And then you've got other little cliques in it. It's not a coherent team. They don't play like a team. They play as individuals. And that's all they've ever done. I mean, it took us nearly 2/3 of the game to figure out to give the ball to Rashford. Like. And even then, he was selfish. But I just don't get what's going on with our club. And I'm supporting Manchester United for 40 years. You're not even on this planet that long because I could tell by your comments. And you support players rather than support clubs. So don't lecture me, right? Manchester United was one of the most successful clubs in the world. And we will be again, right? And we will be successful. And we won't need Ronaldo to do it. And we already were because we actually won a Carabao Cup. We wouldn't have won that if Ronaldo was there. Right? Because Ronaldo upsets dressing room. Sure, even when he left Juventus, sure, all the Juventus play, whoever buys him is going to have, there's going to be an issue there. Because Ronaldo goes in and upsets dressing rooms. That's what he does now. See, Ronaldo won't admit to himself that he's finished, he's gone. So he blames everybody else for his own lack of ability. And you know what? There's no shame in it, right? He just got to an age. He's put his body through a lot over the years. He was obviously going to slow down and he was obviously going to be declining a lot faster than Messi, right? Because Ronaldo used his pace quite a lot. That was his thing. Whereas Messi was a good dribbler. So there's no shame in what's happened to Ronaldo. But he has such a big ego. Even his kid still believes he's the best in the world. No, he's not. No, he's not. There's better strikers out there than Ronaldo now. Because if Ronaldo was such world class, here's one for you, Ronaldo fans. If he's such world class, why is he playing in Saudi Arabia and not playing in Europe? Right? Then he comes out, oh, my job is done in Europe, blah, blah, blah. No, your legs are gone, mate. And you're going to a farmers league because you know you'll do a little bit better over there. Just admit it to yourself. But he won't because he has an ego. So there you go. Don't come in here and give me crap about Ronaldo, right? Because you get it big time, right? No time for you muppets, to be quite honest with you. You don't know anything about football anyway. So don't be coming in here with your stupid comments, right? You have no intelligence. So don't be coming in and actually arguing with a Man United fan that's been supporting the club over 40 years because you'll be bitch slapped into next week. Simple as that. All right? Now, anyway, for Jadon Sancho to call out the manager, this is a big thing. This is going to have repercussions. Will Jadon Sancho be fined by the club? We're going to see what action the manager takes here. But Jadon Sancho has made it clear that the comments by the manager are not true. I don't know where you guys are on that. I don't know whether you are on the manager's side on this one or whether you're on Jadon Sancho's side on it. But I'm pretty sure when Erik Ten Hag is interviewed again And again, remember, those comments come now, and all the players are off on international duty now. So this is going to fester. This is going to fester. This is absolutely not what we needed. You know? And as I said, could you imagine if we actually had Mason Greenwood and we're dealing with that shit as well after the bad result? I should be sitting down relaxing today, licking me wounds, right? Instead, I'm here talking about a player and a manager at loggerheads. And you know what? I'm going to say this. If it was any other player, if Bruno came out and said that was untrue, I'd believe Bruno 100% over the manager. Because that guy's given us everything. And if he'd be the first one to say that they haven't done a job, right? He will, right? So if the manager came out and criticised him and Bruno came out and said, no, it's not true, right? I did train hard, lab. I'd believe Bruno. I've got to be honest, I believe Jadon Sancho here. We know Jadon Sancho's had these problems, right? And we do. But we know that he has worked hard to get back, and nobody can deny that. He has worked hard to try to get back into the team. And I have to say, I've seen little bright sparks from him when he has played. I wasn't too keen on him playing the false nine when Erik ten Hag played him there. But it seemed to give him a new lease of life. But then when the new season starts, what does he do? He doesn't put him in the false nine. Do you know what I mean? This is what I'm talking about, the manager as well. Like, he experimented with Jadon Sancho, the false nine, and then he whacks Jadon out onto the left and puts Rashford through the middle. I mean, come on. So I'm going to be honest. I actually believe Jadon Sancho, because there's just something about this manager. I hate to say it, I don't think he has too much integrity. And why I say that is because of the Mason Greenwood situation. And if he's willing to bring a player like back like that, then he doesn't have integrity and he doesn't have morals. So could he lie about a player? If he's capable of having no morals and willing to bring that scumbag back into the team. And remember, the one thing I will defend Ronaldo on, by the way, right, because I'm not a heartless cunt. I can actually say one thing. Ronaldo did allude to the fact that when the club found out about his kid passing away, that the club, and he felt the management team, he didn't call out Erik ten Hag, but he felt that there was little sympathy, right? I just, there's something about this man, this manager. I just don't know. Sancho's not, look, we've all followed Sancho a long time because a lot of fans wanted him. And at one stage, I was like, yeah, I wouldn't mind him. But then I was kind of thinking, German league is not as physical, or you don't have as much time. So I changed my mind then. I was like, nah, don't want him at United. We'll pay over the odds. And if he doesn't work out, we're left with another player that we paid huge money for. And we know he has had these problems. But on this, I'm on Jadon Sancho's side on this, because why would he do that and ruin any chance of getting back into this team? And he's not pushing to get away either, because, nothing ever comes out from his camp like that either. I seriously think that we Manchester United fans need to be questioning this manager more. Because something is not right. And we have not started well, but something has happened. Because if you look at the way we were pre-season to the way we are now, we're a completely different side. Now, I know pre-season is different, but remember, a lot of these players were getting their fitness back, and they looked sharper, and their passing was snappy, and there was none of this slowing the ball down, right? Even Onana was doing a lot more. There's just something has gone wrong. Since we've come back from pre-season, something has happened because we have not been the same team. Now, some have suggested the fact that the manager and the staff could be overtraining the lads. That could be one possibility. Another possibility is that some fans believe that we may have played too many games during pre-season. Now, I would say, yeah, that would be the case if he didn't play a lot of the youth players during pre-season, which he did. And for 2 of the games, he actually started with the kids, with Johnny Evans and a couple of the fringe players that don't get into the squad. So he did. So I don't think you can use that as an excuse. But there could be something for this overtraining, over-analysing the game, which is probably muddling. There's too much information for the players to take on board, and when they're on the pitch, because some of them look like fucking headless chickens. But as I said, I'm not Erik ten Hag out just yet. He still has me support, but fans do need to start questioning him a lot more. I mean, even last season, some of his substitution choices and when he made the substitutions were baffling. And he's doing the same already this season. There's no way. I don't care. Nobody, and I know fans are going to make this excuse for him, right? But Victor Lindelof was on a yellow card. Yeah, he got that yellow card in the first half. Continued to play all of the first half, and then played most of the second half. And with 10 minutes to go, he decides this is the time to take him off. Right? So we already lose Martinez because of an injury, and that's not the manager's fault, fair enough. And he brings on Harry Maguire. Right? Now, we all know Harry Maguire, right? But still, he brings on Harry, and Harry did, in fairness to him, he did okay. Okay? But you have Harry and Victor there, right? And it's a strong enough unit for the last few minutes, whatever. But he decides that, no, I can't take the risk with Victor now because Martinez is off injured, so I'm going to take him off. And then you bring on Johnny Evans, and within a few minutes of Johnny Evans coming on, he's already pulled someone's short, tugged it back, given a free kick away, right? Because he's no pace. And then if you see the third goal that we conceded, right, he's not getting back for that ball, and neither is Harry Maguire because the two of them are slow, right? At least Victor would have had a little bit of a chance because he's got a little bit more pace anyway than the two of them. But he decides to do that. Then he takes Anthony off, right? Brings Garnacho on. Garnacho makes a difference straight away. But in my opinion, Anthony should have been hooked at half time, and he should have put Garnacho on straight away. Right? He should have brought the young striker on, Holland. He should have brought him on the second half, but he leaves Anthony Martial on the pitch, right? And it's a waste of time. It's like playing with 10 men anyway. Right? So, you know, we got this. The manager hasn't made this easy for himself. And people could say, well, you know, and I've said it, he needs to be backed But at the same time, I'm kind of thinking, well, if that's the way he's going with the players that he has, what would he be like if he actually had players that were good? Is he going to keep playing players out of position, which he does quite a lot as well? Is he going to then, like, when he should make substitutions, not make, you know what I mean? Ten Hag also supported Overmars and tried to sign Arnautovic. This 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 guy surely has no morals. I don't know about the Overmars situation, so you'll have to enlighten me. But you are right. This is the same manager that wanted Arnautovic and Ravio. And this is the manager that signed Mason Mount. And I just don't get it. Wasted all that money on him when you could have brought in another CDM and another central midfield player. But no, you waste money on a player that we don't actually need. It was like a few years ago when we bought Donny van der Beek. We didn't even need Donny van der Beek, but we bought him anyway. It was a strange signing, and look how that turned out. We're a joke. We're a joke. And every manager always seems to mess up their second season. And it looks like Erik ten Hag is not going to be immune to this either. He's making the same mistakes as Jose Mourinho, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer before him. They all have their favourites, and he just needs to be ruthless. You know, he's this is what I'm saying. He's very inconsistent. He's like the players. The players are very inconsistent, but so is their manager very inconsistent. And please, someone tell me what our style of play is, because we don't have a style of play, right? It's at least last season we had some sort of resemblance of a style of play. This season we don't have any style of play. It's absolutely shocking. We've gone backwards. We've actually gone backwards. Now, Piers Morgan, because Piers Morgan is a prick, has just wrote up a tweet 51 minutes ago and says, "Hey, Jadon, come on Piers Morgan Uncensored, and I'll get you out of this Ten Hag nightmare." And this is what this is going to do. But you know what? We kind of deserve it. We don't as fans. We don't as fans, but this club's under the glare. It deserves this, man. This is probably, I said that this season is going to be long. It's going to be hard. I think there's going to be more fallouts. I think something's horribly has gone wrong somewhere. And if Erik ten Hag is doing stuff like that, coming out in the media and saying one thing, and the player, like Jadon, is saying a different thing, then we really do have to start questioning this manager and how he handles things. Because, you know, again, Jadon Sancho, let's understand this, right? Ronaldo might be a scumbag and do it. You know, Dean Henderson might be a scumbag and do his interview, right? But Jadon Sancho is not one of those players that goes and makes statements like that, right? So the question you have to ask, what drove him to make that statement? And what drove him to make that statement is the manager, as far as he's concerned, is saying that he didn't do enough to get into this team. And the player himself is also saying that he's sick and tired of being scapegoated, right? And that is in response to fans, because fans like to scapegoat Jadon Sancho quite a lot. I'm sure I've been heavily critical of Jadon Sancho as well. I'm not going to lie about it. But he is right. He does get, when he's on the pitch and it doesn't go well, he does seem to be the one. If it's not him, it's Rashford. If it's not him, it's Bruno, right? It's you know, it's ridiculous. And you know, maybe some of these fans out there are right when they said that Ten Hag is nothing but a Glazer yes man. Because I tell you, I wouldn't have accepted that transfer window. Or I would have told them out straight, listen, I need more money than you are giving me. Oh, I don't know. We're in it. This is bad, folks. Just in case you know you think this is nothing. This is bad. For Jadon Sancho to call out our manager, this is absolutely awful. I mean, the reaction I can already see it. There you go. People criticizing as you would expect, especially those who hate Ten Hag. Um, and it started now because what's going to happen now is there's going to be a definite. There's already been rumblings the last couple of weeks. People already saying Ten Hag out. This shit with Jadon Sancho now is going to make them reaffirm that. And unfortunately, it's going to get louder. And then eventually it's going to seep up to the bigger YouTube channels. And then they'll go along with it. And then before you know it, then we've lost another manager. And then we're starting from square one again with a brand new manager. Uh, and this is the way it'll go under the Glazers until they're gone, folks. Um, but a couple of accounts are calling Jadon out, saying, you know, he's bitter because he's not done it at United, basically. Of course, a lot of the journalists, Samuel Luckhurst, saying that Jadon Sancho's response is not the way to do things. I mean, all I'll say is this: is that I do agree with that sentiment, but remember, this lad has gone through his issues. There's been things going on behind the scenes, and you know, we don't know what goes on between manager and player. We always assume that they actually had a decent relationship, but maybe Sancho feels that the manager is treating him unfairly and the staff are treating him unfairly. Um, but yeah, you shouldn't really do it publicly. But again, as I said, Jadon Sancho is not the type of player to do that, right? So what possessed them to do it? So something has gone wrong, and that's the point here. But there you go. I mean, it's on Sky. I mean, it's too late now. It's broken all over Sky Sports News. The shit is going to hit the fan. I mean, this is not. This is bad, folks. This wow. I mean, the club is going to have to respond tonight. I mean, you can't let that fester. I mean, something's going to have to happen. Jesus Christ, it's like literally kicked off. This is going to be huge. And funny, what did they put up 16 minutes ago? Oh, here's a picture of their new striker. A very encouraging debut. Actually, I will say it was very encouraging to see him on the pitch. Of course, he should have played from the start because he was bullying those Arsenal defenders. And we had to start them. I think we're looking at a different game today. But again, delusional from Erik ten Hag. We deserved better in the game. No, we didn't. We deserved exactly what we got because we were too defensive. Or Manchester United, for God's sake. I'm sick and tired of people saying, yeah, we defended. Well, don't give a shit. We're Manchester United, right? Attack, attack, attack. Score goals. That's our job, right? Not to defend for 90-odd minutes and try hope that we might nick one. Right? That's not how we play football at Manchester United. Right? We wasted money on all of these players anyway. Right? Jadon Sancho should never have bought him. Anthony, we should never have bought him. Mason Mount, we should never have bought him. Casemiro, we should never have bought him because we're seeing now that Casemiro is finished. And he is finished, by the way. It's not that he's a slow burner. I thought he was a slow burner. You can clearly see Casemiro's legs are shot. He's done. He's done. Real Madrid, remember, right? And I keep saying this to people. When Real Madrid come to us and say, here, do you want a player? Or he's interested in signing one of our players, we should run a mile when that happens, right? They knew they were selling us Varane, who was an Etzel. Basically, he was going to be injury prone, and they knew that. So they sold him to us. And that's exactly what's transpired. He's injury prone, right? They didn't sell us Casemiro for nothing, right? They knew he's on his way out. That's why they brought in Tchouaméni and they brought in the other players that they brought in. They knew exactly what they were doing. And we went and we bought Casemiro, right? Okay? And he had a good season last season. But you could see it. He's already lost another yard of pace. He's done. And Real Madrid don't sell players to teams that still have something in them. They know exactly what they're doing. Their medical teams are fucking geniuses, right? They can get these players out of their club and they know within a few months or a few weeks, them players are going to break down, but they get their money for them, right? Absolutely brilliant the way they do it. Wish we would think of something like that, but that's what they do, right? So he's done, right? We shouldn't have brought in Onana either, right? Because we could have saved that money to bring in someone else, right? As I said, in positions that we needed. Okay? We should have brought in a second striker. We're relying on a young kid, right? He keeps playing Anthony. Anthony is a flop. It's as simple as that. He will be another flop. He's another Jadon Sancho, right? 2 flops there, right? You've got 2 young kids there in Garnacho and Pellistri, right? Okay, Garnacho's getting a little bit more game time than Pellistri, but you won't give Pellistri the time of day, and he should be playing ahead of Anthony, in my opinion. Anthony is shite. I don't care what people say. I don't care if he does a good job defensively. He's a one-trick fucking pony, right? Gets the ball onto his left foot and tries to curl it into the fucking top corner. It's the same fucking shot that he takes on all the time, right? When he runs with the ball as well, he kind of slows down so players will bump into him and knock him fucking down. He hasn't got any fucking pace because he can't take around players. Right? I don't give a shit if he backs up Wan-Bissaka and he's great defensively. We bought him to score fucking goals and he's failing to do that. He's shite. Right? Jadon Sancho, right? Yes, I side on him with this thing because he doesn't call out managers. It's the type of thing he doesn't. But let's be honest, since he's put on the jersey, he hasn't really earned it either. So I'd say to Jadon Sancho, yeah, you're hurt, mate. but you've got to fucking do better yourself, right? Because you should be on the way out. The low, oh, we don't care. People said he played well today. Don't give a shit. He has a mistake in him, and that mistake cost us, okay? He shouldn't be in the team either, okay? Varane is finished as well, okay? Martinez needs a better fucking centre-back partner, but even fucking Martinez now is becoming injury prone. We've no fucking defence, okay? Malacia, the jury is still out on him, but again, he keeps getting injured. Luke Shaw, being inconsistent for years, has a good spell for a couple of months, and he is still one of my favourite, but the honest fucking truth about it is, he's just not good enough, right? Then we go into our midfield. I've already mentioned Casemiro finished. Eriksen is also finished, okay? Eriksen is also finished. And right now, Bruno is either hot or cold, but Bruno will come good. And we know Bruno comes good, so I've no complaint about Bruno. So we leave Bruno alone, right? McTominay, not good enough. Van der Beek, not good enough, right? Okay, we brought in Mason Mount. Why? Don't know. Don't fucking care. Waste of money, right? Then we go to our front three. I've already mentioned Anthony the loser. I've already mentioned Jadon Sancho, the has-been, right? Okay, and then you have Marcus Rashford, who is blowing hot or cold. Okay, last season he blew hot, then he did cold. Okay, but he's a selfish son of a bitch and doesn't pass the ball in the box when he fucking should. Okay, two players are waiting in the box for the ball, and instead he decides that he's going to take the extra touch because he wants to fucking take around everybody and be Lionel Messi and put the ball in the back of the net. Well, you're not 8 Lionel fucking Messi. You're Marcus fucking Rashford, okay? And you're not as fucking good as him, so just get the ball into the fucking box, you bunch of fucking assholes, right? That's why we buy wingers. We buy wingers to knock the ball into the fucking box. I'm not defending these fuckers anymore. Anthony Martial, fucking done, right? And he keeps fucking playing him, the bald fucking wanker. He keeps playing him, right? What are you playing him for? What are you playing Anthony for, right? What are you playing all of these players for when they're all fucking done? We can fucking see it. And mark my words, Casemiro and Eriksen are done, right? That's why we had no midfield today, right? We had Bruno there, Casemiro and Eriksen. Now all the fans were saying, oh, we'd be grand because we got the 3. They're done. Those 2 players are done. They've lost another yard of fucking pace. They're fucking done. They're shot, right? So we may as well be playing with no fucking midfield. And the reason why then when he puts Mason Mount fucking in, right, it goes to fucking shit because him and Bruno want to keep fucking running up. It leaves Cass on his fucking own. And Cass is done. Right? The bottom line. Let's get to the fucking right. Johnny fucking Evans. Right? Victor fucking Lindelof. Right? Okay? Harry Maguire. Right? And then you've got Varane, who's fucking injury prone. And fucking now Martinez seems to be picking up injuries as well, right? So you might as well say our back four is non-existent, right? Because I wouldn't put fucking Johnny Evans or Harry Maguire or Victor Lindelof in a pair together because it doesn't work. And we've seen it. It doesn't work because we conceded 2 late goals, right? It doesn't work, right? Johnny Evans, Harry Maguire doesn't work. Victor Lindelof for Harry Maguire doesn't work. And it's definitely not going to work with Victor Lindelof and Johnny Evans. Johnny Evans has no pace, right? And then we've got a goalkeeper that we've brought in who has blown hot and cold. I'm not going to go totally down on Onana or go crazy on Onana. You know, that jersey is a big jersey to fill. And he's going to need time. And a lot of fans said that anyway. So he's only here a wet day. The jury's still out. But we knew Mason Mount was shy anyway. Chelsea fans thought he was fucking shy. And then we buy their fucking shy. Right? And then we bring in Sergio Reguilon. Another fucking has-been from fucking Tottenham. Right? A Tottenham fucking reject. Then we bring in Amrabat on loan because we can't afford to buy any midfielders. And everybody thinks we're going to be all right this season. Yeah, you just want to wake up and smell the fucking coffee beans because I can fucking tell you now, This is going to be the longest fucking season. Do you remember that season that we had? What was it? The last season under Ollie? Do you remember how bad that was? Well, prepare yourself, because that's exactly how bad it's getting this season. This is exactly. If Sancho is calling out the manager and if other players are fucking disenchanted in that dressing room, he won't be the only fucking one. Right? Something's gone horribly fucking wrong. Right? And it always happens the second season, folks. Always happens the second seasons. So fucking put your safety belts on, your seat belts on, folks, because you are in for a long, hard fucking ride. Because if you think we're finishing top 4, you can kiss that goodbye. If you think we're getting anywhere in the FA Cup, you can kiss that goodbye. And if you think we're getting anywhere in the Champions League, you're living in fucking cuckoo land and should be living on planet fucking Mars, right? Because we're not even getting out of the knockout fucking stages. You know what? I wouldn't be surprised if we end up down in the Conference fucking League by the end of it all. That's how bad. And if you think we're retaining the League fucking Cup, you can forget about it. This is what's going to happen. Man United's biggest nightmare as a fan is going to come true. Manchester City are going to do the quadruple, right? And these fucking American owners are still going to be in charge, squeezing us for every fucking penny and not investing it into the fucking club. So you better fucking wise up, sugar cups, because this is exactly what we're fucking getting. Right? Now, I'm going to say it again, and I'll fucking say it again. See all you wankers that are organising all these marches and protests, right? If you aren't willing to empty old fucking Trafford, don't fucking waste their times anymore, because that's what's going to take to get these fuckers out of this club, right? That's what it's going to take. And Sir Alex Ferguson, you're a fucking legend. I love you to bits. I love what you've made this club, but you're a prick. You're on that board as well. You're taking Glazer fucking money, and you need to fucking speak up, right? You need to fucking speak up. They're destroying your fucking legacy in fucking front of you, and you've kept fucking silent the whole fucking time. They're destroying what you built. And you're just sitting there on that board taking that fucking money. Get up and say fucking something. The one man that can make a difference in this fucking club, he's still there on the board, and he keeps his mouth silent because he's paid by those pricks. I'm done. I mean, I'm done being nice now. They're all getting called out. This is a fucking disgrace. And fans need to fucking wise up now. Right? This shit has gone on way too long anyway. Right? Okay? So we got to do something. Right? And emptying Old Trafford is the only way. You got to do it. Right? Those cameras in front of the fucking world, it'll embarrass them. But just won't just do a little sit-in. Who gives a fuck? The sit-in's not going to make a difference if you don't have fucking people watching. Takes the Glazer money, doesn't open his mouth, watches his legacy being destroyed in front of his eyes. I don't know what kind of fucking man fucking Sir Alex Ferguson is, because I tell you, as a manager, I know he was ruthless, he had principles, and he had fucking morals. But what the fuck? Why would you want to say? I mean, when he saw us being hammered by Liverpool, and the cameras panned to him, and he was inconsolable. He was on the verge of crying. Was that not your wake-up call, Sir Alex? Like, what's it going to take for you to say something? Like, how far does this club actually have to fall before you will say something? Everything you have built, everything you've built is being destroyed in front of your eyes, and you stay silent. You fucking stay silent. You won't even open your mouth. Defend your fucking legacy. And week in, week out, we've got to watch that bullshit. Like, what's it going to take for you to be the leader that we know you are and always were and say something. You can change this fucking game tomorrow. And I've been saying it. He's just as responsible. Since he's left this club and went up to the board, he's just as responsible as the Glazers, folks. It doesn't matter what he did for us. It doesn't matter. It should matter to him. He built us to what we are today. And he's just sitting there week in, week out, watching it erode away. I'll tell you something. Those 30 pieces of silver must be fucking worth it. I'm supporting this club a long time. We've had highs, we've had lows as well. We've had a lot of lows. But this season feels different to me, and this feels like this is going to be one of the worst lows that we've ever had. And I knew we were getting beaten today. Even people were saying, we'll nick a 2-1. Some said we'll draw. I said we'd get beaten 4-1, actually. We ended up getting beaten 3, but I was close. We were never winning that game. I go into every game dreading what the result is going to be against us, or how we're going to embarrass ourselves even further on the pitch. Nobody gets it. These younger fans won't get it. You don't understand how much this is killing fans like me. It's absolutely dire, man. And this manager, he's a lot to answer for. It's just not. We don't deserve this. We never have. I know what our rival fans hate us because we were so successful, and they love to see us being taken down a peg or two, and that's fine. That's rivalry. But this really hurts. Like we're not even close. We're actually further along. We'd be lucky if we win the Premier League within the next 10 years. I'm telling you, we'll probably end up waiting longer than Liverpool. And I hate to say it, but if we continue with these owners, that's exactly what's going to happen. They have taken everything that I love about this club and they've destroyed it. They just don't care. And they're sitting at home now, right? They don't care that I'm upset. They don't care that fans have had enough. And then the rumor that they're not selling, they're holding out for 10 billion. I mean, Manchester United is not even worth 4 billion the way you have treated it. It's not even worth 4 billion. And you want first you wanted 5.5 billion, then it was 6. Now apparently it's 10, and then secretly apparently you have taken the club off the market because you are looking for 10 billion and you hope to sell it next summer. Well, then why tell the fans in the first place and give them hope in the first place that you were going to sell if you were going to keep it for another fucking year? Like, why tell us if you were going to just drag this out? Absolutely awful. I mean, Jadon Sancho is now getting it. Remember how we treat players in this club as well. We treat them with disrespect. Even our legends. I'm talking about Roy Keane, by the way, and people like that. I'm not talking about Ronaldo. Just prepare yourselves for a long, hard season. I just don't. This doesn't. It's not getting any better, and it won't. As long as the Glazers are still here, right? We are in Manchester United. We won't win anything significant. Yeah, we won the League Cup, and that was nice to win a trophy because we hadn't won one in a while. But you can forget about winning the Premier League. We're miles off winning the Premier League. We're not even going to do. We won't do that in the FA Cup either. It's knockout anyway. We'll be knocked as soon as we come up against a decent team. We'll be done. Champions League. You know, I did give us a bit of a shout when I saw the draw, but after today and everything that's gone on, we're not getting out of that group. Why not? We just got a team full of has-beens and people that shouldn't even be here, right? Because I'll ask you now, out of all of those players that are in their squad, tell me how many would actually get into City's team, or Arsenal's team, or even Liverpool's team. I think Bruno Fernandes would be a good show. But after Bruno Fernandes, excuse me, after Bruno Fernandes, who else is there? No, seriously. Seriously ask yourselves that question, right? After Bruno Fernandes, who else is getting into all those teams that I mentioned? There's nobody, right? Because the law is not good enough for any of those teams, right? Varane, because the age that he is and his injury prone is not good enough, right? Martinez, a lot of teams wouldn't buy him. Sure, we were even slack for getting him because apparently he was small, right? But he has turned out to be a good boy. But I don't think he's getting into the teams that I mentioned, right? Wan-Bissaka is not getting into a top team. Sure, Crystal Palace wanted him back, right? Delo, he's not getting in anywhere, right? Malacia, he's not getting into a top team, right? Casemiro, no top team is buying him for the age that he is now, and especially using that, he's not getting into any of the top teams, right? Bruno, yes. Mason Mount, no, sure, Chelsea got rid of him, right? We were just stupid enough to buy him, but Mason Mount is championship level at best, right? That's just the truth of it, right? You give him the number 7 jersey as well, fucking joke. But anyway, he's not getting into a top team, right? Then you look at our wingers, and I'm talking about the ones that have been getting most games. So Sancho, he's not getting into a top team, right? Now, I know there was talk of him going to Manchester City when we were looking at him and all of that, but never transferred because Pep and his team do work. They knew not to be fucking stupid and pay the money for Sancho that we did. So Sancho's not getting into a top team, right? Sancho would probably get into the Aston Villa team, right? That's his level, right? Then you look on the other side, Anthony, right? He's not getting into a top team, right? Not a top team in England anyway. He played for Ajax, but he's not getting into a top team. He's not getting into Manchester City's team. He's not getting into Liverpool's team, and he's certainly not getting into Arsenal's, right? He just doesn't have the pace. He might be great defensively, but he's shite going forward, right? So he's not getting in. Then you look at Marcus Rashford. He blows hot and cold. Okay, PSG look like they might want to go in, but what English top team would take Marcus Rashford? I mean, City look pretty good where they are in the positions that in those positions. Arsenal are pretty good. Maybe Arsenal would be a show, but again, you know, I don't think Rashford would actually get into a top team. That's just my opinion. Then you got Anthony Martial, who's not only just not getting into a top team, but he's not even getting into a shy team. Okay? And then we're relying on this young kid who showed some, I will say, showed potential today. He looks like he's going to cause defenders an awful lot of problems, but the jury is out on him, right? So that's our team. Then you go to the bench, right? Harry Maguire, Johnny Evans, yeah? McTominay apparently has picked up an injury. That's why he's not on the bed, but McTominay, right? Then you got a couple of the young lads, Gore, Hannibal, Mailbury. Then you've got Garnacho and Palestri, who he doesn't play. Listen, you think we're finishing top 4, doing well in the Champions League, FA Cup and League Cup, good luck to you. Why not? Why not? Face the reality. We do not have a top quality side. Right? Right now, we're living off our name. Okay? And that's all that's keeping us going right now is our name. Because if we were any other club, right, and we weren't Manchester United, we'd be in serious fucking trouble right now. Okay? But our name can still attract some players. But then you look at the players that we are. Amrabat, I didn't mention him. Is he getting into a top team? Honestly, is Amrabat actually getting into a top team? Or does a top team bring him in as part of the squad, a bench player? But we're bringing him in more than likely to be a starter. We should be going for Caicedos, the Frankie de Jongs that we were linked to. You know, we should be hijacking deals like the Jude Bellingham deal to Real Madrid. We should be going after the top defenders. We should have hijacked the Kim Min-jae deal. We should have hijacked the fucking Harry Kane deal. Right? These are fucking deals that Manchester United should be doing. Okay? So stop kidding ourselves here, right? We bring in loans and we bring in fucking has-beens. And that's what we've done. And we've done it for years. We've never brought in a manager's top fucking choice. Okay? Remember Mourinho, the famous list that he had? And then if he couldn't get me first list, I had a second list. And then he had a third list. So he didn't even get his third choice. He went and got his fourth or his fifth fucking choice. Right? Because we're penny pinching. Right? And they do that with every manager. And history's repeated itself with Erik ten Hag. But I think Erik ten Hag is actually doing himself no favors right now. And he seems to be doing a Jose Mourinho, where he seems to have a problem with players. But again, the reason why I'm taking Jadon Sancho's side on this argument is because Jadon's not the type of player, as I said, to do stuff like that. But at the same time, the manager criticised him publicly, like. Now, whether that was to try and get a reaction out of Jadon Sancho, but not the reaction that we got, but a reaction on the pitch, the manager still went the wrong way about it. That's a private conversation between player and manager. And the manager's job is to protect the players at all costs. Even Mourinho did it when he had falls out with players. He would protect them. And then eventually when he knew his time was up, he threw them under the bus, because that's classic Mourinho. He will always throw them under the bus then because they've been throwing him under the bus. He'll just do it then as he knows he's on his way out. But this manager has done this a couple of times, right? And as I said, Jadon is not the type of player that will come out and say stuff. He normally, even during these problems and stuff like that, man, he's kept his nose and kept his mouth shut. Right? He's kept his nose clean and kept his mouth shut. It's not like him to react this way. But I know people will slag me tonight for getting a bit upset. I don't care. Bottom line is, I love this club. I've supported this club for over 40 years. And to see that the state that it's in is sad, right? And I do believe Alex Ferguson should be doing a lot more. He could call out these Glazers and it'd be game over. If he even sat in with those fans when they did the sit-in, that would have made a huge statement, right? If he walked out of Old Trafford with the fans when they walked out of Old Trafford, that would make a big statement. But he's getting a nice little wage off the Glazers, right? And he's being paid by the Glazers. So he's a Glazer, yes, man. But what sickens me about Sir Alex Ferguson is that he's sitting there staying silent and being paid while watching his own legacy go down the toilet. Everything he built go down the drain. And I just don't understand that. And that's why I say those 30 pieces of silver must be fine silver. Because if that was me, right, and that was my legacy, right, and I was the manager and that was my legacy, there'd be no way I'd be sitting on the fucking fence. I could tell you fucking that. I'd be calling out these owners every fucking day until we got rid of them. And Alex Ferguson doesn't need any money, by the way. He doesn't need to be paid by the Glazers. And if the Glazers tried to kick him out as club ambassador, sure, the fans would fucking uprise and that'd be the end of that anyway, right? They wouldn't fucking dare. He should just have the courage, like he did when he was a manager, have the courage and speak up on fans' behalf. Because if he's okay with our legacy, if he wants to have a face like he did when we got beaten by Liverpool and we got hammered by them 7-0, if he wants to have that face again, he wants to feel like that again, well, then you just sit there and stay silent. But if you don't want to feel like that again, it's up to you now to speak up. You must speak up along with these fans, right? And players like Wayne Rooney need to shut their mouth as well. I know you're a club legend and you came out with the bullshit. The Glazers has done a lot for the club. No, they haven't, right? They may have spent a lot of money. Here's the problem, though. They spent the money on the wrong fucking players and wasted a lot of fucking money with their mismanagement and their incompetence. So don't be fucking defending those owners either, Wayne. You just stay over at DC United and keep getting beaten over there, okay? And you mind your own business about what happens at our club now, right? You're gone now, right? You're a legend and all of that, but mind your own fucking business, okay? Because you and Alex Ferguson pulled a fucking stunt, right, when you pretended you wanted to go. Because other fans do believe that Wayne Rooney wanted to leave. He didn't. This was a ploy, and I remember at the time, it was a ploy between him and Alex Ferguson because the Glazers were refusing to bring in players they were. So Wayne Rooney and Alex Ferguson concocted this plan to pretend that he was leaving, and Alex Ferguson would act all shocked and blah, blah, blah. And then he said, well, if he's not going to show ambition and bring players in, I'm off. And what happens? The Glazers signed players, right? But it was a fucking trick. He was never leaving in the first fucking place, right? So, you know, these two lads have manipulated the Glazers to get fucking money out of them, right? That time. So fucking either keep your mouth shut about how good they've been with the fucking club or actually fucking come out and criticise them like every other fucking ex-player has had the balls to do, right? Except if you're Rio Ferdinand, you'd be praising fucking Manchester City and licking their balls and saying it was a great treble, even though you're a Man United legend and you should be fucking disgusted by it, but you are fucking celebrating it like the fucking twat that you are. And do you remember that twat? Oh, the Saudis, the deal is done. Sheikh Jassim is coming to United. Yeah, I've got exclusive news. Well, what happened with that, Rio? What happened with that, Rio? Yeah, you got an awfully quiet on that as well, haven't you? All you are is a mouthpiece. Shut your fucking mouth, man. Right? You know, fuck all. Right? You pretend to be this person in the know because you're an ex-player. Right? Shut your mouth. Right? And you're just as bad as the rest of them. Right? Praise Manchester City, you fucking scumbag. And Brandon Williams was right to call him out. You know, Brandon Williams got stick for that. Do you know what? Brandon Williams showed more fucking guts and fucking commitment to this fucking badge than Rio Ferdinand did because he called him fucking out, and rightly so. But what happened? The club punished Brandon Williams for calling out a fucking traitor. Like, I've no time for ex-players that praise Manchester City and give them all the plaudits, right? You're an ex-Manchester United player, act like one, or shut the fuck up. Sick of these ex-players, right? A lot of you ex-players could fucking open your mouths as well and you stay silent, right? See, Gary Neville does it sometimes, you know, but even him tonight, he still thinks the Glazers are going to sell. Listen, open your fucking eyes, Neville, right? Open your eyes. They're greedy cunts, right? First, 5.5 billion. They were offered that apparently. Now it's not good enough. They wanted near 6. Apparently 6 is not good enough. Then the Cardiff City chairman comes out and lets slip. Oh, they're selling it for 7. Now we're told, oh, 7 is not good enough. Now they want 10. They're not selling anytime soon, right? They're not selling anytime soon, right? They're going to stay here until some poor fucking idiot comes along and says, oh, get the 10 billion for Manchester United, right? That's what's going to happen, right? And no fucking idiot out there is going to give them what they want for Manchester United, because Manchester United are not worth 10 billion, you fucking idiots. They're not worth 7 billion, right? The max they're worth is 3.5 to 4.5 billion max, right? You were offered 5.5 billion, over 1 billion more than what the club is actually fucking worth, and you are greedy and you want more. So they're not going anywhere until get whatever the price. I don't think it's 10, but I wouldn't be surprised if their valuation is between 7.5 and 8 billion, to be quite honest with you. And that's what I originally said when I first came here. You'll see me very first Sheikh Jazim video. If you watch that, I think you'll hear me say that he's probably looking for around, the Glazers are probably looking for around 8 billion. And don't be surprised if they actually sell the club after the transfer window had closed, right? There's still a possibility that they might. And why would they wait until the transfer window closed? Well, to give you an FU to us fans that have been criticising screws over one last time in the transfer window before they left. But it looks like they might hang on to the summer, which I also did say as well. There's a possibility that they'll hang on till the summer and then they'll go again and hope that new bidders come in. And that's what they're hoping for. See, this is why we're in this position in the first place, because the Glazers got fucking cocky, they did. When they announced the sale of the club, they thought they'd have bidders from everywhere coming and flocking to them. Oh, yeah, we want to buy Man. We want to buy Manchester. We want to buy Manchester. But no, right? Only 2 proper bidders came in. And one is actually a joke because Sir Jim with other people. So that's a joke of a bid anyway. So if you look at it really, there's one proper bid there for them. And they wanted, this is why they were putting out all the leaks all the time, right? They wanted to generate competition. They wanted to bring more people in so the price would go up, but it didn't happen. It didn't happen. Now, this is where I'm baffled by the Glazers and why I think the Glazers are actually not the smartest people on the planet. And if they didn't actually have money, they'd probably be living somewhere in some hick town in America and they'd be white trash, basically. But they're not the most intelligent bunch in the world, because if you've got an asset like Manchester United and you're trying to get people to buy that asset, you want that asset to look as appealing as possible. But instead of making Manchester United an asset as appealing as possible, they've done the fucking opposite. They haven't backed the manager in the second window, right? So you've already seen the start we've had. Results are going to get worse, right? We are going to be knocked out of competitions without a fucking shadow of a doubt, right? And then that property, that asset that they have, is not looking as attractive as it is right now before we get into the fucking real bad shit. They could sell now and capitalize on it. But because I know the Glazers aren't actually smart, and they're not, by the way, they're not smart people. They might have money and think they're businessmen, but they're not businessmen. They're a bunch of fucking idiots whose father was a fucking idiot, and so on, right? They're just a bunch of fucking idiots that have money, right? They have no business sense whatsoever, because the biggest thing that they should have done is they even had that US bank loan that they could have enacted the day before the transfer window closed and gave their manager a real fucking chance. by him going out and buying even one world-class fucking midfielder and bringing Amrabat in on fucking loan and maybe getting in a fucking cheap fucking second striker in and maybe another backup centre-back that'd be better than the Johnny fucking Evans, right? They could have done that. Or another way again around the financial fair play rules was for the Glazers to take money out directly from their own pockets. But they chose not to do that. They chose not to enact the bank loan, right? Because in their heads, it's not worth it. Right? But yet they're trying to sell the club and they're looking for up to whatever it is. I'm going to say 8 billion. That's what I reckon they actually want. They want that world record. It'll be a world record anyway, but they want that world record 8 billion. I know they want 8 billion, right? That's what they want, right? They ain't getting no 8 billion now, right? They'll be lucky. Sheikh Jazim, listen, this could work in our favour anyway. Because Sheikh Jazim, after the shit season that we are going to have, because we're going to have a shit season, by the way, be under no illusion, we're having a shit season. That club is going to be worth a lot less than what they're looking for. And this could play into Sheikh Jazim's hands and he could get the club a lot cheaper. This is why if I were the Glazers now, but they're not smart people there, because in their heads, the longer they wait out, they're hoping that someone is stupid enough to go in and pay 10 billion. Listen, if someone comes in and pays 10 billion for Manchester United, I don't want them running this club. Because if you're that stupid enough to pay 10 billion for an asset that's worth between 3.5, 4 billion, well then you're a stupid businessman and I don't want you anywhere near my club. You'll just be as bad as the fucking Glazers. Right? This is just pure greed from these fuckers. Right? It's as simple as that. So in their logical head, they don't want to spend any more money because they still think because it's Manchester United, people are going to buy it. But unfortunately, we've seen that the only bids have come in are from Sir Jim and Sheikh Jazim's bid. And then we had that businessman who wanted fans to buy the shares but was a fucking con artist and you know, nothing ever came of that. So they don't have serious bids. The one serious bid that they actually have, well, they do have the two serious bids, right? Sir Jim's bid is serious. But the bid that probably gives them almost what they want is Sheikh Jazim. But they want to squeeze him for more money. Now, if I were him, I'd wait because we're going to have an awful season. And they'll have no choice. Listen, he'll probably end up getting the club cheaper than he wanted it originally because he could play hardball and just walk away. Now, I'm just going to tell you one thing now. If Sheikh Jazim and Sir Jim walk away, this is bad news for the Glazers because apparently it's gotten so bad, it's not being reported, but apparently it's gotten so bad that next year, if you think we're bad financially now, we're not going to be able to bring in players next year at all. We're that fucked financially. We're screwed, right? So they'll have no choice. They have to sell. They will have to sell. They're at the point of no return now. They're bleeding money rather than making money, right? And of course, even though we're bleeding money, they're still taking out fucking money. So it's not how, listen, they won't be able to hold out. It's why I believe they will sell, but they're going to take their time. And some people, I can tell you now, right? Some of the media have already come out and said that by November we'll have new owners. Bullshit. We won't have new owners by November, folks. Right? They're going to wait till the summer. Guaranteed. They're going to wait for the summer. And don't be surprised in January if they do then enact that bank loan and give the manager the money in January rather than give it to him at the start of the fucking season where he would have had a great chance. But when it goes all pear-shaped and when we get to Christmas and we're miles off top four and we're struggling, we didn't even make it through to the group stages of the Champions League. Trust me, they will give him that 100 million to try bring in. So, but it'll be too late then. The season will already be wrote off. And that's how Glazers do their business. That's how they look at things because they're not really smart people at all. right? All they are is money driven and they're greedy. And yes, some people will say, well, if they get what they want, then they are smart people. No, they're not. They're just fucking lucky, right? And some fucking poor fool is after coming in and giving them what they want. More fool that person. But again, if someone did come in and pay that price for Man United, I wouldn't want them as the owner. Because if that's what if you're willing to pay that for an asset that's worth 3.5, 4 billion, and you're paying twice over the odds for it, no, sorry. And then people say, fans say, well, Sheikh Jassim should just pay them. No, why should he? Why should he? Money doesn't grow on fucking trees, you know. Right? Just because he has a lot of money, why should he fucking pay over the odds? I hate that attitude as well. Why should he pay over the odds? Right? They're getting enough fucking money. He's even giving them over the odds anyway. Right? They're still not happy. So why should he pay any more? He shouldn't. And I wouldn't want them to anyway. Right? Same with Sir Jim. I don't like Sir Jim's offer, but even with Sir Jim, I wouldn't like him to pay any more. Right? Simple as that. These cunts are just greedy. So Alex Ferguson, get off your fucking hole and say something. And all of you fans that keep organising these protests and little sit-ins and marches, it's gone past that now. Right? It's time to empty Old Trafford. How many times do you have to be fucking told? Right? It's what fans all over the world are telling you anyway, and you keep ignoring it. Oh, it'd be too hard to empty Old Trafford. Well, get as many fucking people out as you fucking can then. Right? Okay, get as many fucking people out as you can. You mean to tell me you can't send flyers all over the fucking stadium, no? You can't organise and ask people to walk out of the stadium, no? You can't do that, no? You were able to get 10,000 people to sit on their fucking arses at the end of a game, weren't you? So you mean to tell me you can't get people to empty the fucking stadium? Right? Because nothing else is working. You need to embarrass these fuckers at an international stage. Could you imagine, when do we play Manchester City? Do we play them at home first? Hold on, I'll tell you now. Because you have to do it against a big team. You can't be doing it against a Mickey Mouse team, though. That's the thing. Well, no team is Mickey Mouse to fucking United right now. Right? So you've got Brighton. Right? You've got Brighton on the 16th of September. Then you've got Bayern away. Then you've got Burnley away. Then you've got Crystal Palace at home. And then that's in the ELF Cup. And then you've got them in the league. Then you've got Man United versus Galatasaray in the Champions League. Right? On the 7th of October. Right? But on the 29th of October, and that's plenty of fucking time. Right? So you mean to tell me from now till the 29th of October, you can't tell fans, right, for the Manchester City game, for the Manchester Derby, a 3:30 kickoff. We're going to go into the stadium at the start of the game, and 15 minutes in, we're going to walk out of the stadium and not go back in, and we're going to protest outside Old Trafford. You've got until the 29th of October to organise that, and you're going to be at home in, because I want to make, because this is how much time you will actually have, right? So you will be at home to Brighton, that's 1 week. Then you have Crystal Palace twice at home. That's another 2 weeks there, 2 home games there. Then against Galatasaray, that's another home game. Then against Brentford, that's another home game, right? Then we've got Copenhagen at home. That's another home game. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 home games you've got. All you protesters, all you people that organise these marches and all, have 6 home games to convince people to empty Old Trafford for the City Derby. Don't fucking tell me it can't be done, right? Don't tell me it can't be done. It could be fucking done, right? The will is not fucking there, because at the bottom line of it all is yous are all fucking mouthpieces. Yous will all talk about have yous a little sit-ins, but then after go into the Man United mega store afterwards, right? That's the bottom line. And the thing about it is, what's funny is, like, you're asking, you criticise fans like me for buying a jersey. Yous are there every week at Old Trafford, right? Whether you have a season ticket or whether you bought the ticket for a particular home game, you are paying money going into that stadium, right? And he's criticised me for buying a jersey. Same people that will stand outside and protest then going into the mega store. And we've seen footage, by the way, and the people can deny it because we've seen the footage online. These people literally getting their missuses to go into the mega store for them, even though they were protesting a few hours beforehand. Absolute fucking joke. Empty the stadium or stop wasting fans' fucking time. I've said it time and time again. You've got 6 home games now coming up in the next few months to get this organised for the City game. 3:15 kickoff. The world will be fucking watching, right? 15 minutes in, you walk out, end the fucking story. Right? Because I don't want to hear people say, don't buy the jersey, don't do this, do that, or the other. Right? Because I'm not listening to you. Right? Because the only thing that's going to work, you haven't got the bottle to fucking do it. If I lived in Manchester me fucking self, I'd take over all of these fucking movements, and I'd be going in one fucking direction. And that direction is empty old fucking Trafford. Right? Send a fucking statement. All the fans send a statement pleading with Alex Ferguson to open his fucking mouth. You put pressure on him. You put pressure on everybody. Right? The media and everything. Right? You get them because they'll only talk about it when they feel like they need to fucking sell papers, right? They need to keep this going, right? What's happening to our club is an absolute fucking joke. And rival fans as well, right? I'll just say this to rival fans as well. I know you are loving the fact that we're down in the fucking pits of hell right now, right? But at the end of the day, you should fucking care because this could be your fucking club, right? And I know they've got all of these tests for owners in place and all before an owner takes over. Be under no illusion, there's always fucking loopholes and they always get around it and you could end up with a scummy fucking owner like we do. That's what I mean. Glazers don't go, nothing changes. So if the fans are not willing to do what it takes and they're not, and listen, I'm not, the marches and all this, right? Fair enough. They serve the purpose up until a point. But we're gone past marches. We're gone past sit-ins. They're not going to work. The only thing that's going to work is embarrassing these owners at an international stage. I mean, you could even go as far as to do a Champions League game, right? So you don't do the Galatasaray one, but you could do, let me see, we got Galatasaray on the 3rd of October. You wouldn't have to do that one. You got Copenhagen then. You wouldn't have to do that one, but I would do. There you go. The 12th of December against fucking Bayern Munich. So you have your first one you have your first walkout against Manchester City in the derby, right? And then in December, then you have another one, home game in the Champions League with the world watching, Europe, 7:30. You know it's going to be on the TV, 7:45 kickoff. Okay, it's going to be watched globally. Manchester United versus Bayern Munich. Because of the fact that we wanted to sign Harry Kane as well, there's going to be extra media attention on it, right? So they're the 2 games that you use to have your fucking walkout. And I can guarantee you, it'll be the biggest fucking news. Right? So either get real about all of this or just shut the fuck up. Right? And just let it be what will be. Right? Because I'm sick of all of this, Must and all of these others putting out statements. I'm past these are statements now, right? I'm sick of these are fucking statements, right? You all need to come together because these are all operating as separate entities anyway, right? You all need to come together. Stop put your personal issues a fucking side. Same with you bigger fan channels out there as well. You keep all saying, let's come together, but none of you fucking set the example and come together, right? We hear Mark Goldbridge call for people to come together. He never even fucking comes together with other YouTubers anyway. So what's the fucking point of you opening your fucking mouth, you twat? Right? And same with all of these other YouTube channels. We should all come together. We should all put our personal issues aside and stand as one. But you don't. You are just as bad. What you do then, you just come on, the Glazers, we must do something, and you do fuck all. Right? How long did it take Goldbridge channel to fucking back the Glazer out movement? He's more fucking worried about his sponsors, he was, more than getting these owners out. Right? Okay? I'll call them all out. I don't give a shit. I'm a small channel. Who gives a shit? They can punch down. I'll punch back fucking up. I don't give a shit. Right? Bottom line is everybody needs to be called out. These fan channels are just as fucking bad. Right? Because they sit there, Glazers out, but they do fuck all about it. What organising are they doing? Fuck all. Right? Oh, we all need to put our personal issues aside. You know? What you're fighting for anyway, you bunch of fucking idiots. But someone stub on your toe or something. What was it? You didn't like someone's opinion. You had a falling out. Was that what it was? Oh, God love yous. Bunch of soft pigs. Like, our club has got the shit, like. And yous are just arguing with each other and fighting with each other. And I should have been watching a movie right now. I was actually thinking about what movie I was going to watch, and I couldn't think of one. I was trying to find an action movie, because old action movie. I was going to watch Lethal Weapon or something, but then I saw this news and it changed my mind. But the fallout from this tomorrow is going to be something. Let's see if the club have actually made any sort of statement on this. So they put out a statement from the manager. We have to improve, definitely. But you see, and also what we have seen last year, we could beat anyone. It was such small margins today. I disagree. It wasn't. Listen, Arsenal had all of the ball, right? We're Manchester United. We hardly had any possession. And it was small margins, he says. It wasn't small margins. Small margins was if we had went toe-to-toe with Arsenal, but we can't. We're incapable of going toe-to-toe. This manager is delusional. I'm sorry, but he is. Some of the statements he's come out with the last couple of weeks, especially even against what was a Wolves, he said we played well. I'm sorry, he's delusional. We didn't play well. We haven't played well all season. We're shy. Right? And playing well in patches is not good enough for me. Right? We should be playing well the whole 90 minutes. Or at least most of the game. Every team goes through a bad patch. Right? But we don't even have a fucking good patch. Right? Because we're always having a bad patch. Right? So he believes we deserve more. Okay, Garnacho wasn't offside. I don't care what. I'm not making excuses, but that goal goes in and is given. That's 2-1 to United. We don't lose that game. Right? We don't. We just don't, because it was a different mentality from the players. Right? But as soon as we didn't get that, that was it. Heads dropped, as they do. This is what I'm saying. We're weak. So I don't know what this manager is talking about. It wasn't small margins. I'm sorry. But if fans want to settle with the fact that Anthony was good because he defended for 90 minutes or defended for as long as he was on the pitch, well, then that's fine. Fair enough. Right? But that's not good enough for me. Right? I watched wingers like Ryan Giggs and Cristiano Ronaldo tear it up. Right? Kanchelskis and other fucking wingers that we brought in. even the ones that weren't maybe the greatest in the world still did a job for us, right? Right, because they could take on players, right? Anthony can't do that. He hasn't got the pace. We wasted money on that has been, and he is a has been. He's going to be a flop, and I don't care if people say, well, no, you're being a bit too harsh. I'm not being harsh, right? I'm sick of making excuses for these players. Anthony is not good enough. Sancho is not good enough. There's a lot of players that are not good enough in that squad. And we've brought in more players that aren't good enough in Reguilon and now Mason Mount. Okay? So we've added to the players that weren't good enough to more players who weren't good enough. Right? So I'm sorry. It wasn't marginal. This was a poor result. Right? The fact that some people think that certain players had, and I've seen it online there, players saying who their man of the match was. I mean, I've seen Bruno being mentioned. He was poor. I've seen Delao being mentioned. He was poor. I don't know where he's getting that from. I mean, fair enough. He did a bit of good defensive work here and there, right? But again, all Delao does is this, right? Just fucking stands there all the fucking time, right? And then you have the two statues in defence. Fuck off, right? Wasn't good enough. Delao didn't have a good game. He was fucking shit, right? Anthony Martial, fucking shit. They're all shit. And the sooner you realise that they're all shit, then we can actually move on as a fandom and actually get down to fucking what we need to fucking do, which is get these scum owners out, right? As I told you, right, there's only about one player that would get into any of the other top sides, and that's Bruno Fernandes. And even he blows hot and cold, and he didn't have a great game today. But I'm not going down hard on Bruno because Bruno comes good for us and always fucking does come good for us because he's the only player that we've brought in these last couple of years that actually has fucking done it for us and dragged this club fucking with him, right? He's the only fucking player that we brought in. The rest are not getting into top teams. So stop deluding ourselves that we're a top team. We're an average team, right? That's what we are. We're an average team, and we overachieved last season, and now we're seeing their true potential this season. And this is what we're going to see. We're going to see their true potential, and their true potential wasn't finishing fucking third, right? Their true potential was finishing outside the top four, and that's exactly what we're going to do this season, right? Because those players are not good enough. Now, if Martinez is injured, we are fucked, right? We're fucked. If we lose Bruno Fernandes, we are fucked, right? This is how people don't realize how light we actually are. If we lose Casemiro, even though I think that he's not the same player, he still does a job in moments, right? If we lose him, we're fucked, right? We lose Eriksen, we're fucked. Who else is coming in? McTominay, Hannibal, Mason Mount when he comes back. I mean, wake up. We don't have a squad. We have a lot of players that no team, and I mean no team, is buying. No team. Right? We've no squad. We've no midfield, by the way. This is why Arsenal dominate us. We've no midfield. We are fucked. And now we probably lost Martinez along with Varane, right? Varane, as I said, injury prone. We never got brought in defender. We're going to pay for this big time. And some of the responsibility has to go to the manager because he is the manager and he should be identifying where all of these weak spots are. And we know where all the weak spots are because we could see it on the pitch. Now, if you're telling me that our manager can't see that, well, then he shouldn't be in the fucking job. Right? So all you Man United fans need to wake up, right? And I'm not saying this because it gives me pleasure to say it. You've seen how upset I am. I'm upset. I'm fucking livid here. Right? This is a historical club, right, that has met with tragedy, that has risen from the fucking ashes, right? And the board back then were going to pack it in. And if it hadn't been for Jimmy Murphy, we wouldn't be fucking sitting here today. Right? And everything that Ferguson has built. Sorry about that. I hit the camera should come back on now any second. Either that or it's going to kick me from the fucking stream. So if it does kick me, don't go because I'm still here. It's just I'm waiting to switch on this fucking camera. Could you just switch on now, please? There we go. So it's time to wake up. We don't have a team. We don't have a team. We have maybe 3 or 4 individuals that on certain weeks will do business for us and maybe get us the result. But it's not because we're a team. We aren't a team, and we haven't been a team for a long, long time, right? We started to play like a little bit of a team last season, but even that went to shit at the end of the season. And something happened at the end of that last season that has affected us ever since, right? And we haven't been the same team. So something's happened behind the scenes, either with the manager, the players, or something. Or maybe he's demanding too much, or as I said earlier, maybe he's confusing the players with too many fucking messages and he's not just simplifying it, going back to fucking basics. Because when we went back to basics under him, we were actually playing decent fucking football. But it seems like that they're all thinking of what the job they have to fucking do, and it seems to be hindering these fucking players. And again, and I'll say it again, Bruno Fernandes, if you're listening to me, I love you, mate. But I don't know what it is with this halftime huddle that you do. But every game that you've done it, we've ended up having a shit second half and being beaten. Could you stop with the halftime huddle? Whatever you need to fucking say to those players, say it in the fucking dressing room. Because when you come out onto the pitch, I don't want to see you huddling to fucking get her. We're not a fucking amateur team, right? We're Manchester you fucking United. Chest fucking out and ready to fucking go. Say what you need to say in the fucking dressing room. Sick of that shit. This huddle crap. You're fucking footballers. Get with the fucking program. Say what you need to say in the fucking dressing room. Get out there and fucking start the match. Every fucking time. He did it against Wolves as well. Every fucking time. Don't be doing the huddle. I don't know what the fuck you say to them, but whatever you say, the whole fucking thing goes to shit. So just leave it out. We get it. You're the captain. You don't need to fucking keep reminding us that you're the captain by doing the huddles. We don't give a fucking shit about that. What we want you to do is step up, take fucking responsibility like you have been doing, and get this fucking team playing. Because when you're not fucking playing, they're not playing. But I don't know what's going on with you, because you're not giving out to these players anymore. I used to see before, you used to be very vocal. Now all of a sudden it seems like you're afraid to open your fucking mouth. And all of this as well, I'm sick of this nonsense as well, I've noticed. Defenders point, you need to go there, you need to go there. Bruno, you need to go there, you need to go there. Should that not have all been established before he's come out onto the pitch where people were going to fucking be? And this is why I question the manager, right? What the fuck is going on in there that players are fucking pointing all over the place, not knowing where they're supposed to be? Even Jordan, the game he calls over Ericsson, and then he had a fucking, he had a go at someone as well, Jordan, a match as well, trying to get them fucking, like, I mean, should all of this shit not being sorted out? It's either him or the coaches that he has there are just not good enough, right? Because this manager, this version of Erik ten Hag is not the version that was at Ajax. And it's not, right? And we knew that he was going to have to adapt because the players that he had there, it was going to take him a few transfer windows to bring in the players that he wanted. But he's not even getting the ability to do that because of these owners. So he's having to make do with whatever he can get his hands on, right? But
if you're a top manager, you know, like he was able to do for a while last season, he's got to change it up. He's got to change some tactics. It's not working. It's not working. And the fact that players are this is what look, it goes on a lot. It's been Victor Lindelof is guilty of it quite a lot as well. Even under other managers, he was doing the same thing as well. And some other players were doing the same. I'm sick of all of this pointing business. And you know, as I said, we take an age to pass the ball. When United play the ball, snappy, fast movement, we're actually very good, and we've seen that during pre-season. This is what I'm saying. I don't get it. The tactics have changed. Erik Ten Hag has changed the tactics, and I don't understand it. He played different tactics pre-season, comes back then for the full season, and plays completely different. So I question the manager, and he needs to up his game in the next couple of weeks because I'm actually starting to lose patience now. Because yes, we could blame so much on the owners. Yes, we could blame the fact that they're not giving him the budget that he should get, right? But at the end of the day, he has coaching staff there, he has scouts there. And you mean to tell me that there weren't better players that were available than Amrabat? There weren't decent centre backs that you could bring in. Okay, you missed out on Kim Min Jae, fair enough. But you mean to tell me that there was no other centre back out there that you could have got rather than give Johnny Evans another fucking contract, right? Why you brought in Mason Mount, I don't get it. Mason Mount signing works if you bring in two other midfielders, a CDM and another CM, right? Then Mason Mount signing works because then you have cover for Bruno, right? Because he plays where Bruno plays, and if you want to rest Bruno, perfect, you put Mount in, right? But he brings Mount in, and then he doesn't bring in the other two midfield. Well, we got Amrabat in the end, right? But we're still short, right? Because Eriksen, as I said, is finished. Casemiro is finished, by the way. He is. I defended him at the start of the season because I said he was a slow burner. But I saw him. I've watched him now very closely. He's gone completely awful. His passing as well, even today, was on Casemiro. He's lost a yard of pace. He's done. He's done. But Real Madrid knew what they were doing when they were selling him and Varane. They don't sell players that they know. Look, they're smart. They know when players are on the way out and when to sell them. And we're just the fucking idiot club that comes along and says, oh, yeah, we'll take Real Madrid players. Yeah, Real Madrid, yeah. They have to be good. This is why we needed to bring in someone like Caicedo, right? Because Casemiro, as we all know, and Man United fans knew this anyway, he was an aging CDM, so we knew that we'd get a couple of seasons out of him, and then maybe we'd have to move him on or bring someone in then, and rotate with Casemiro. But we haven't, and we're relying on him. And he's actually deteriorating. He's not the same player as he was. He's lost another yard of pace. Same with Eriksen. Eriksen is finished. Eriksen looked shot after the hour mark. Casemiro looked out on his feet after 45 minutes. They're done. They're done. And Bruno then is not performing. And if Bruno's not performing, then you're in serious trouble. Because none of these other players are able to step up. You had the likes of your Anthony's. Rashford did step up and get a goal today, but in fairness, he should have probably set up a couple of goals. He was just too fucking selfish and decided that he wanted to take everything on himself. Because, as I said, he thinks he's fucking Cristiano Ronaldo or fucking Lionel Messi. But he's Rashford. And we need to stop blowing smoke up his ass as well. I mean, he's a very, very good player, but he's not world class, right? Vinicius Junior is world class, right? Mbappe has potential to be well. I would put Mbappe world class. I would actually say Mbappe is world class. But there to be, that's who I want at the club, right? I would very easily sell Marcus Rashford to bring in Vinny Junior, right? I'd bring in Kylian Mbappe as well, right? And there was no way that if I owned Manchester United, Bellingham would be going to Real Madrid because he would have been the first person I would have bought at United. I would have brought Bellingham in. I would have brought Frankie de Jong in. I would have brought in Caicedo, right? I would have brought in that other young CDM, what's it, Lavia. I would have brought him in as well because you want to double up. You want to keep, you want to bring in the best. Centre back, I would have brought in Kim Min-jae. I would have brought in second. Who else would I have brought in centre back? I would have brought in, I would have said Pau Torres, but I've seen how he's done with Aston Villa, so I probably would have been wrong on that one. But I definitely would have brought in Kim Min-jae. Right? And then you're looking at left back and right back. I would have brought Davis in from Bayern Munich, and I would have brought in Hakim from PSG. Is he still with PSG? I don't know if he's still with PSG, but that's who I would have brought in as me right back. Right? And then you bring in, all right, you've got Onana, but I would have brought in Donnarumma or someone like him. Right? A real top quality fucking goalkeeper, still young as well. I would have brought him in with Onana if you're going to replace your fucking goalkeepers. Not go in and buy a fucking keeper from fucking Turkey for $4.5 million after getting rid of Kovar. Like, I mean, air transfer business, if you actually look at it, is fucking stupid. We're a stupid club. Like, we sell off most of our youth as well, by the way. Gerardo, I mean, he scored a goal for us pre-season, and I said, you know what, we put him out on loan. He's a player for the fucking future, definitely. And what do? We sold him, right? And do you know what's going to happen? Do you know what's going to happen? Just like we did with Pogba. Do you know what's going to happen? I guarantee you that Gerardo fella is going to turn out to be world class, right? And I bet you we've been thick enough not to put a buyback clause into his contract because we're a bunch of fucking morons. But I'm not the owner of Manchester United, so, and I don't have 10 billion. But I even wouldn't play 10 billion for Manchester United. I'd say to them, listen, 5 billion, get the fuck out, and that's all you're getting, right? Because then I've got to invest because you let that stadium go to shit. And I've got to invest in the fucking training facilities because you let them go to shit. And then I've got to invest in the squad and pay a load of players off because you've turned it into fucking shit, right? This is why they're greedy bastards, right? Because the fact that, they want all of that money and then the new owner then has to spend billions to bring us back to where we need to fucking be. And I mean billions, and it's going to take billions, by the way. It's going to take absolute billions to bring us back to anywhere near where we were. Absolute shambles of a club. Absolute shambles. I remember the seasons where we missed out on Premier Leagues and I was gutted. I was really distraught. But then the next season we'd come back and we'd literally just tear it up and, we'd get the trophy back. But you always knew that if we had a bad season or we didn't win the Premier League, but we won something else, that we'd always come back stronger, the Premier League, and more than likely we'd probably win it. I mean, we can't even feel like that now. And I haven't felt like that in a long time. We'll never win the Premier League, the Champions League, or the FA Cup, in my opinion, ever again. I know we won the FA Cup under the Glazers, by the way. I'm not stupid. I know Louis van Gaal won it, but I'm saying now we will never win a major trophy again under these owners. The League Cup is not a major trophy, by the way, but it is a trophy, and I did celebrate it because we won something. But we never win those three main trophies as long as they're in charge. But you know what? You know what the funny thing is? When Alex Ferguson retired, we kind of prepared ourselves as fans because we knew it would take time for us to rebuild under a new manager, and the fact that Ferguson wouldn't be there anymore. It was a strange feeling. But I don't think even back then, even when David Moyes ended up fucking up, I don't even think back then we could imagine or predict how bad things were going to get. I mean, we're literally, what's it been, 10, 12 years since we won the Premier League? I mean, we're literally another decade away. Some of our older fans will never probably see Manchester United win another Premier League trophy. And remember, we've got a lot of young Manchester United fans that have never seen United win a Premier League trophy. I mean, I obviously had to join the privilege to see the whole Alex Ferguson reign unfold. So I got to see United win a lot of trophies. But I tell you, I miss that feeling. I miss that feeling on the last day of the season, especially if it went to the wire, winning that trophy. Maybe, already have won the FA Cup and stuff like that. Man, I miss those days. They've taken our club's soul and they've stomped on it. And Richard Arnold, John Murtough, and all of you other gobshites, Michael Judge or whatever your name is, you should resign ASAP. You're not qualified or smart enough to lead transfers, negotiations, or any sort of negotiations for that matter. As far as I'm concerned, this club has mismanaged the transfer window. I think our manager is complicit in that as well, and serious questions need to be asked. But I'm going to leave it there because I could go on all night, and I don't want to. I've said enough. Some sections of YouTube and United fandom will probably criticize what I said tonight. But I honestly don't care. It's time to get your heads out of the sand and realize that this is actually as bad as we think it is. It is bad. It's worse. It's worse. We're actually, as I think it was Mary on the She Devils said it. We're like 1 or 2 injuries away from absolute chaos. Now we've probably lost Martinez, so that's 1. Right? If we were to lose Bruno or Casemiro, season's a write-off. So that's where we are. That's how serious this is, right? And remember as well, nobody's taken this into account, right? Again, it was on the She-Devils. They brought it up, but absolutely spot on point, right? The AFCON is coming up, isn't it? Right? Onana, if his team qualifies, is going to be going there. Amrabat is also going to be going to the AFCON, right? So we're going to lose those players for 6 weeks, potentially, right? So that's 2 players already gone. And if we get any more injuries to the players that we have here, wake up, man. This is why this transfer window, fans should have been proud. You know what? It actually fucking makes me laugh. With that transfer window we had, the next thing that should have happened was a riot. I don't mean a riot, but I mean there should have been a protest. There should have been something. Because we're 2 or 3 injuries away from actually becoming worse than fucking Sheffield United. Think about it, we lose those, Donny comes back into the fold, McTominay comes back into the fold, right? So they're the players that you're bringing in to replace Cass Ericsson if they get injured, right? Varane is already injured. His replacement is Victor Lindelof. Yeah, that's fine. Okay, Victor is decent. He's still not world class, but he's decent. He does a job, and he's probably safer option than Harry Maguire. But now Martinez picked up a knock. Let's hope it's just precautionary. But if it's not, he's out now. So it's Victor Lindelof and Harry Maguire in your defence. Now, if that happens any of those 2, right? This is where we're at then. We're at Johnny Evans. Now, I don't know if Eric Bailey, because I know he's not gone, isn't he not? I don't know if he's actually in the squad himself, but let's just say he is. That's your options then, Eric Bailey and Johnny Evans. Wake up, folks. We do not have a good team. We're weaker than last year, right? And we are. We're weaker than last year. And the reason why we're weaker than last year is because the other teams have all bought well. We've bought horrible. We're weaker than last year. And we're in for more hammerings like we got today, right? Because today was a hammering, right? I don't care if we were defensively good and solid and all of that bollocks because we happened to let in a few goals or whatever, right? We're Manchester United. We should be back running up the pitch trying to score fucking goals, not defend for most of the game. Right? And it didn't make a difference anyway, because for all the defending that we did, we ended up conceding 3 goals anyway. Whereas if we had been tried to go on the front foot and at least go out, it's at least if we got beaten, we went out beaten playing the Manchester United way, right? Not defending like a bunch of morons. So now I'm done with giving this manager leeway. He needs to change his tactics and he needs to play a brand of football that's attractive, because we might as well be watching fucking Louis van Gaal football. Side to side, pass to pass, side to side, pass to pass. Look at the statistics. Look at the statistics for the pass and the inside our own half. And most of it was down by where Onana was, right? Between him and the defenders and the wing backs, right? Look at it, right? That's not how Manchester United play. I'm sorry. Yes, you could build the ball out from the back. Yeah, but that's not what we're doing. We're not building the ball out from the back at all, right? No player is willing to take the responsibility. I remember there was one time in the game where Victor Lindelof, instead of playing the ball back, it was in the second half because he kept doing that in the first half. And I said, you know what? I even said during the match reaction, I would just love one of the defenders to just take the risk and run with the fucking ball, right? Rather than taking the easy option and passing the ball, take the fucking risk and run with the ball. And what happens? Victor Lindelof does exactly fucking that, and we created a fucking chance. It's like as if these players have been hindered or something. or they're so well drilled into you can't move too far away from your position. If you don't see a pass, take the safe option and all that. No, man, players shouldn't be told to take the safe option anyway, right? What I would say to a player is, if you think the pass is on, take the pass. But if you make too many mistakes, obviously I'm gonna come down hard. But pick and choose your fucking passes is what I would say to them, rather than say always pick the safe fucking. I don't know, man. Maybe someone said it. Is it got to do with Dutch managers? I don't know. Maybe Dutch managers don't suit the Premier League, but I think he's reached his ceiling with these players. I really do. I don't think he can get any more out of these players, which then we have to ask, and we already know, is the question is that most of these players are just not good enough. But at the end of the day, then, why is the manager going out buying more average fucking players then? Surely he needs better than what he has, so he could start replacing those, so he could play his own way and his own brand of football. Anyway, I'm going to go and watch my movie now. I don't know what to watch. I don't know whether I want to watch an action movie or whether I want to watch something that makes me laugh. Because I don't want to go onto social media and listen to these players apologise, because I don't know if they actually have. But I'm not in the humour of listening to them, At the end of the day, it's not all the players' fault. It's not all the manager's fault either, but they do have to take responsibility for their part in it. I mean, the ultimate responsibility is down to the Glazers, because they're the ones that own the club. But we know what they're like, that's the thing. It's up to the manager, to kind of get players in that are going to improve the squad, and I just don't see too much of an improvement. I'm being honest with you, I don't. I think some of these signings are way off. I mean, Sancho, I don't know about him. I know he was brought in when Ollie was here, but I think that Erik Ten Hag should have sold him. I think there was even interest there for him. Should have told him he was going. He's given them plenty of time. He needs to go. Anthony, I know it's his own player and he trusts Anthony, but I'm sorry, Anthony is not a Manchester United player. He's not. I mean, again, he'd probably get in the Aston Villa team, but he's not a Manchester United player. I'm sorry, he's not. It's not Anthony. He's not a Manchester United player. The level of player that we need out in the wing is like this, someone at the level of Cristiano Ronaldo's type. Someone with pace, someone that could take around players. He could do none of that. Yeah, he's great at helping out Wan-Bissaka defensively. Whip-de-doo that fucking day. We bought him to play and score goals. He's not doing that, right? So that's where I am on that. And as for midfield, if it wasn't for Bruno had a bad game today, but if he wasn't in there, you've got the other two that are finished. I mean, we're fucked. We're fucked because we already know Donny isn't there. We already know that McTominay isn't there, right? Then you're going to rely on Hannibal and maybe young players like that. It's not fair on them either. They're supposed to be brought into the team when you want to start, giving them a little bit of game time. You play them in cups and all that. They should be playing from the beginning, but that's where we're going to be at. And then, as I said, we get another injury. I mean, if we get an injury to Victor Lindelof, Victor Lindelof already has a yellow card. Remember, if he gets more yellow card, because we like to waste time on the ball. Even Onana has a yellow card. We seem to love wasting time on the ball. I mean, we got our statues pick up the ball, and it's like they'll pick up the ball. It's like this, right? They pick up the ball, and it's like, I look around now. Maybe I'll pass it to him. Oh no, bit of pressure. Back to Onana. There you go, Onana. So Nana picks the ball up and then it goes out to one. Yeah, then he messes around with it and goes out to one of the wing backs. There you go. Then he hits the Victor. Victor, thanks, I'll have that. I'll look around now. I'll take about 15 hours to make up my mind where I'm going to go. Oh, I'm being put under a bit of pressure back to the goalkeeper. Now, one last thing before I go, right? Either the players are doing this themselves or this is an instruction from the manager, right? Because, and I think it's the players themselves. I don't think this is an instruction for the manager because he did seem pretty animated. But Martinez and Onana were coming in. We brought Martinez in for it. He was going to revolutionise, apparently, our defence. He was good with his feet and all of that. But even he's picking up the ball and he's like this. Oh, no, calm down. I'll slow the ball down. Pointing and all of this shit. Like, our wingers are afraid to cross the ball into the box or they can't beat their players, except for Marcus Rashford. But then when he does beat players, then he gets all clumsy and loses the ball. And then he gets lucky then, and then he got his goal today, right? So he was lucky for that, right? But then you got Anthony. I mean, look, if we had paid 40 million for him, I wouldn't even be having this conversation because 40 million, I'd be saying, well, he's a 40 million pound player, it's grand. But we paid a fucking hefty sum for him, right? And for the money that we paid for him and Jadon Sancho alone, those two players, between the two of them, right? And this is just being generous, right? Should be getting 30 goals between the two of them, right? That's 15 goals each a season, right? And that's being generous. With the money that we've paid for them, they should be at least getting 15 goals each. Do you know what the funny thing is, right? When Anthony does become the flop, it's just going to take United fans a little bit longer to see it, but he is a flop. They've realised now that Sancho is a flop, right? But the money we paid for him, we'd be lucky if we get 25 million, 30 million for Sancho, right? The next transfer window, because he's getting worse. And now he's calling out the manager now, all shit is going to break loose, right? I remember as well, the Saudi transfer window is still open, right? So, you know, you got to take that into account as well. Some of these players might be fucking, you know, angling. But I honestly, even though he came to Manchester United, I don't think deep down Jadon Sancho's been the same since he left Dortmund. And apparently there's the physiotherapists over there, all the footballers love. She's a stunner as well. She's a footballer as well, I think, or an Olympian or something. But, you know, they were always getting photographs taken with her and all. And he hasn't been the same. Apparently he had a bit of a, I don't know, but I think there might be something there. Maybe that's why he has his mental health issues. Nah, we're not going to get the money back that we paid for him, but I'd sell him, and Anthony needs to go. I'm sorry, but, you know, sell Anthony, bring in another winger, keep Pellistri, and give Pellistri more of a start. But you need to sell Anthony is now good. I don't care if he's good defensively, right? I don't give a shit. I don't care. Marcus Rashford's not good defensively, right? But he scores goals. Okay, he scores goals. Okay, now Rashford's starting to do more defensively. I've noticed he is trying to do a little bit more, but Rashford is best running at people, right? And that's what we need on the right hand side. Now, did you notice as soon as he took Anthony off and he put Garnacho over there, the difference in the game completely? The whole dynamic changed, right? Because Garnacho was running at players, right? Garnacho was able to have the pace to get around them, actually take them on. Anthony gets the ball. This is Anthony. Anthony gets the ball. He gets the ball, right? And he runs forward, right? And then there's the thing. He runs forward, then he stops. He looks around, passes the ball back that way. Then He never gets the ball and goes and decides, okay, I'm going to take this fella and go his little skill and run past him. No, he'll get up to here and he'll go, oh, I need to pass the ball back. So I'll hit it back to Aaron. Here, Aaron, here's the ball, Aaron, right? And he gives the ball back to Aaron. And then he does a little run. Oh, give me the ball back again. So then I'll run back here again. But then I'm going to check back here now and give the ball back to you. I'm fucking sick of it, right? We didn't pay all of that money for a fucking idiot to keep receiving the ball and stop him when he gets to a certain point because he won't take on players or cross the fucking ball in because he's shy. And Rashford needs to do more getting the ball across as well. I don't mind him running to the byline like he does and trying to beat players. But when you're trying to do it to 5 or 6 fucking players, man, it's not going to work, mate. Sometimes the best option is just to fucking knock the ball in the box and see what happens. That's another thing that the biggest criticism I have of this Manchester United team, and it's been the biggest criticism that we have had over the last couple of years, the inability of our players to beat the first man at a cross, a corner. Whether it's a corner, we either underhit it or we overhit it. We're very bad at actually taking set piece. When United get a corner, I'm like, there's no point. Just give the ball back to the other team. Or better still, just move everybody out of the way. Oh, Nana, you get out a goal there because they're going to counter-attack us anyway and score. Right? We can't. Right? Same with free kicks as well. Right? I'm sick of Bruno. I'm sick of fucking Rashford taking free kicks and scoring them over. Can someone else take a fucking... And Eriksen, don't let him touch the ball either because he can't fucking take a free kick. Will you let Casemiro or someone else take a fucking free kick for a change? Or maybe let one of our fucking wingers take a fucking free kick for a change and see what fucking happens. Change it up a bit, right? But there's no point of us getting corners. There's no point of us getting free kicks, right? Because we never get anywhere with them, right? But those wingers are not good enough. Right, Garnacho comes on, he's a kid. Palestri is the same, right? You bring that kid on, what does he do? He's taking around players, he's getting bundled in the box and everything he is, right? Even Man United fans that seen him in the stadium are talking about on their YouTube channel saying the difference he makes when he comes on the pitch and that Erik ten Hag should give him a go. But for some weird reason, our manager wants to stick with Anthony and he can't even be a fucking man. You can blame the Glazers all you want, right, for not spending money, right? But they have spent money. But when they've spent money, we spent it on the wrong players. This is why we're in the situation that we're in. We bought Harry Maguire for 80 million. He wasn't worth 80 million. Right? Harry was worth around 25, 30 million at tops at the time. Right? Leicester seen us coming, but we paid the 80 million. Right? He wasn't worth 80 million. Right? So we spent that money wrong. If we actually had brought a defender in for 40, right? A better defender for Harry for 40, right? We would have had another 40 to invest in another area in the team. See, this is what happens. Bring in Jadon Sancho and pay all that money for Jadon Sancho. Whereas if we had actually took the Jadon Sancho money, we could have invested it in other more important areas of the fucking pitch. Say when we brought Anthony in, right? We could have used his money to invest in other areas of the pitch. It's not the fact that the Glazers haven't spent money. It's the way we've spent the money too is the big fucking issue here, right? We spent it on shit, right? And then if you're Manchester United, just to put the cherry on top, right? We get rid of a player like Paul Pogba because he refused to sign it, so we get rid of him, right? And then we re-sign him then, right? Years later, right? And we pay a huge fucking fee after getting fucking rid of him, right? Because we're not clever enough to put a fucking buyback clause into his fucking contract, right? So we have to pay over the odds, and then he turns out to be an absolute fucking disaster, right? again, you have people defending Pogba as well over and it'll be the same. People will defend their players rather than call out what's really going on and the bullshit that's really going on. But I've had enough of this club. I've had enough of these owners. I've had enough of these players. They're probably all fucking apologising for what happened, but I don't need your apology, right? And the fact that the manager has to keep telling you that it's, you know, that you need to have this mentality and you know, not to be weak, just goes to show me that you don't deserve to wear this fucking jersey, and you never deserve to wear the fucking jersey. And a lot of you should be out and he's here, right? And he's picking stealing a living at Manchester United. And some used to have the cheek to even say that you weren't even leaving. And I don't know why you weren't leaving, because you're hoping that Sheikh Jazim comes in or some other new owner comes in, so you get a big payoff, but he's going to swivel on it because you don't deserve it, right? Because you didn't even deserve to wear this jersey in the first fucking place, right? So the best thing for you to do is leave, okay? When the next window opens up, if an offer comes in for you, fuck off out of our club and go. And if our club had any smarts to get rid of Sancho and Anthony ASAP and try bring someone in January, right? And you don't even need to bring anybody in for Anthony's side, because you could play Garnacho over there anyway. You could play Garnacho on the left or the right. So play Garnacho over there and Palestri over there and get those two young lads and get fucking Anthony out of here, right? And get Jadon Sancho fucking out as well, right? And invest in fucking areas that we need. Sick of them. Anyway, I'm going to go. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. We'll be back maybe tomorrow. I don't know. I need to cool down now. But I will react to the match and react to the fallout of this Jadon Sancho news, because I'm pretty sure the shit is going to hit the fan tomorrow. So more than likely it will be tomorrow. So come and join me. I'll put the stream up when the stream is up. Then once the stream is up, it'll probably be an hour later then when I go. But the time will be up. It'll be scheduled and all of that. But it'll be an hour after I throw it up anyway. And we will talk about the fallout to this Jadon Sancho, Erik Ten Hag nonsense. And I'm pretty sure there's going to be more finger pointing all over the place, because usually when these things start, it blows up into some big thing. And I can imagine now, you know, certain fans out there are loving this at the moment, because, you know, a certain player that they wanted to keep at this club is gone, and they're probably gloating right now, saying, "Well, that's what happened. This is what happens when you don't keep him." All this rubbish. Listen, I don't care how bad we get. I don't want scum playing for this club, okay? And by the way, just to let you know, Anthony is going to be facing his own problems soon, and so is Harry Maguire in February. So I want those two gone in January, right? Anthony is a flop. Don't care what anybody says. They could say I'm jumping the gun. He is a flop, right? You can't take around the player, right? All he's good at doing is defensive work, and we didn't buy him for defensive work, right? If we wanted another wing back, we would have bought another wing back. If that's the case, play him in the wing back position then, right? If he's good defensively, right? We didn't buy him because he was good defensively. We bought him because fans saw YouTube clips of him on YouTube and said he was great at taking around players. Well, he hasn't done that in the Man United jersey, just like Jadon Sancho hasn't done it in the Man United jersey. And you know what? I'm sick and tired of being conned by con men. All right? So Anthony needs to get out of my club. Delon needs to get out of my club. Harry Maguire, McTominay, Ericsson, right? Casemiro is done. I'm sorry, he's done. These all need to go. Listen, see this whole so-called rebuild that we were talking about? The rebuild hasn't even started. We're fucked. We're worse off, right? Every single one of those players are not good enough. The only one that I'd keep out of the current squad is Bruno Fernandes. The rest of them fuck off, right? Martinez is going to be injury prone. I could just feel it, right? So again, we're going to be stuck with a defender that had great potential but is injury prone. Another Erik, right? So we're fucked. Anyway, I'm going to stop now because it has been all doom and gloom, hasn't it? Anyway, like, share, subscribe. Please subscribe. If you've liked what I said and you agree with everything I've said tonight, please share the video. Leave me a comment because I have seen that people have been watching tonight. But leave a comment. Let me know where you stand on this Jadon Sancho, Erik ten Hag situation. Let me know what you think of the opinions that I gave. Are there players in the current United team that you would actually keep and you think that I might be overreacting about? Is there players that I've called out that you absolutely agree with that need to be moved on? Let me know. Whatever your opinion is, leave a comment in the comment section. And if you do leave a comment, I will try to get back to you as soon as possible and give you a response. But again, most importantly, helps the algorithm. Hit the like button as well. And don't forget, if you do like this content and you have liked what I've said, don't forget to let other fellow Manchester United fans know about the channel, because that's how we get people coming in and subscribing, is by word of mouth as well. Until tomorrow, Reds, listen, it's been a tough one. I've said a lot tonight. You know, I'm still a bit pissed, I've got to be honest. Hopefully by tomorrow I'll cool down, but the Jadon Sancho stuff, I don't think that's going to happen. But hopefully I'm a little bit more calm tomorrow. But yeah, join me tomorrow. So listen, enjoy the rest of your evening. I'm out of here before I lose my voice completely. So good night. So pity about the results, but look, we go marching on. 2-week break. Hopefully something happens within this international break and we come back a different team. Because if we don't come back a different team and we continue to play like we've played, it's a long season, folks. It's a long season. Anyway, bye.